Hello, and today I'm talking to you from my floor because I'm doing wires and stuff. This is the remnants of a gig over a year ago now. So putting the rig back together just for shits and giggles, so I can play some of the set essentially. And I thought I would talk about this. So live, I've always got the questions of how you run in two cabs with a Kemper. There's only one output for the people who know. For people who know that. The other thing is people actually really like the fact that I'm one guitarist and I'm using two cabs. Especially if we're the headlining band on the tour, I am bringing two cabs with me. And all the other support bands don't need to bother with theirs. So it's a good thing all round. Plus it strokes my ego. Nice ego. Sounds great as well. Like, not gonna lie, having both sides, you can run side to side on the stage, etc. It's brilliant. Anyway, you all know the benefits of having two cabs rather than one. It's just more is better. How do I do this? The Palmer cab merger. This wee tool has been the best find for me, period. I think it's 30-40 bucks. I said bucks. Who says bucks? Anyway, bucks. Pounds, not sterling, something like that, right? It's legal tender. So how this works is it splits the load on the cabs basically. So you've got two 8-ohm cabs, or two 16-ohm cabs, or two 4-ohm cabs. They need to match. Should note, need to match. So for me, I've got two 8-ohm cabs. What I do is I plug it into the series port in here, and then split off the two cabs. So on the cab merger, you have a series input, a parallel input, a cab 1 and a cab 2. Cab 1 and cab 2 are pretty self-explanatory. They go to the cab, right? So the series input is the one I put to my Kemper. So this goes directly into the back of the Kemper, into the power output. So the little diagram up here, or quick physics, would tell you that if you put your two cabs in series and they're both 8 ohms, they would be 16 ohms in series. That would be the resulting impedance. So yeah, so that's the resulting impedance. If you put them in parallel, it would be 4 ohms. Just double checking my maths is right. Yep, 4 ohms. 4 ohms. The Kemper works between 8 and 16 ohms. So as long as it's within that impedance range, you're perfectly okay. If it's outside of that, that's when you could put stress on the amp and cause the power amp to blow. So we want to keep it within there. So for instance, if you had two 4-ohm cabs, you'd put them in series because the resultant impedance would be 8 ohms. If you had two 16-ohm cabs, you would put it in parallel because that is a resultant impedance of 8 ohms as well. So whereas if you put the two cabs that are 16 ohms in series, the resultant impedance would be 32. And to be fair, that's a larger resistance, so I don't think it would damage your amp. It would just put more strain on the amp, i.e. that it would be very, very, very quiet, and you would need to crank it more, but don't do it. Just don't do it. Just stick between 8 and 16. So that's how that works. So plug this into the Kemper, plug your cabinet into one, your other cabinet into the other, and you're good to go, as long as you get the impedance right. So the way I do it live is I have a short cable for the one that's going directly underneath where the head's sitting. Then I have a long cable, which is hard to get. I got a 10 metre, or was it an 8 metre? Long story short, I got a cable that was really hard to get, which is a speaker cable, by the way. You need to make sure they're speaker cables. And it was 8 metres long, and I could plug it into that and I can reach the other side of the stage. If that cable ever goes missing, I will kill someone. Kill. If you get that reference. Anyway, it will kill. So, this wee thing. If you've got two cabs, buy it, try it.